Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Tuesday, November 25th. And so far, the market has been kind of squirrely. So far this morning, we talked about buying weakness for rotations back up. We were looking at these upper levels to see if they're going to take this higher. And I had to say, now we're getting late in the session, a little bit of a rally going, which is kind of positive. So we're looking at we started this morning looking to buy weakness. We talked about the levels here. Let me scroll this up a little bit, like so. Yeah. Right. So like so. So we were looking at the we're looking to buy weakness against these levels here, the 6700s, the 6710, 6700s, 6685s, 6680s, down to the attractor at 6670. So far, buying weakness would have worked great if you could handle it, because that volatility was pretty darn crazy. Then it stalled up here against the right in the overnight range. And once they start taking out that 6730, they never quite looked back. We had one probe up here to the 6740s where they were hesitating for a bit. After that London close, we took it out and then it ran right up here. We are up against these upper levels. You know, the Nvidia earnings when they came out and they popped pretty good. We are right up in that attractor area right now, and we are heading higher. So a pretty darn good move to the upside. And let me see, this pretty darn good move to the upside. And if you look at capital flow, we are getting right up here to that 6,800 level. We are 20 points away. And I think we have a shot at getting there before the close, to be honest with you. So we have a half hour left. Market looks like they're taking out the highs and ready to move higher. Now, I did a couple of trades here on the ES today. So far, we had 7 trades on the ES on my part today. And I had to say it wasn't too exciting. I had this a little. Let me see here. We go back to the morning right there, and I get my little trades come in here. So I did a one trade right from the get-go. That was a little buying opportunity. Popped it, like move to the upside. It got shaken out. They ran down pretty hard. Then they had this big run down here, and that was that. Buying that weakness, that would have been pretty hard to do. That was hard to do. It ran hard down, V bottom, straight back up again. Slopped around the mean, and then we started running this back up again, slowly grinding high, but not very well behaved action at all. I tried one short trade a little bit late on that entry, got a break even trade there. Tried another short trade, got another break even trade on those two. Didn't work out, and then I took another. I had made a mistake of buying into that level at that attractor area. I talked about it this morning. I talked very clearly about that attractor at 67.45, 44.45. First time to it, then you get short, and I just did it right the opposite. That's buy right into that area. It's like that's because I was paying attention to the F4 and not the bigger picture. So yeah, I make the same mistakes as everyone else. So I realized that if I get into it, it's like, oh crap. And I say, oh man, I'm long. I'm in that spot. So I'm looking at the spot to get out, and I just can't get out. They're just not letting me out on that thing. So I get stopped out and give back a few bucks there. Then I tried 2 more trades, long trades, and both of them gave me a few ticks on the upside. And I had one more trade at the end here. I tried a short trade. I tried to trade a little range right there. So when they ran higher, stalled, went sideways. You can see here, if you try to trade that range, it would have worked a few times. I was a little bit late. I tried that short trade, had to fade some heat on that thing, and I got out of it when I could. So I'm down 250 on 7 round turns on the E. It's not a great showing, but try the best. That one mistake kind of cost me a bit. On the Nasdaq, we are definitely popping the highs here. We're taking out that 25,050s or 40 to 50s, heading higher. And I would say that we are in a pretty good spot now to extend up here towards that 25,300. So we have a way to go on the Nasdaq. Not a whole lot of resistance ahead of us. It's kind of meandering in between here, not any obvious edges until you really get to that 25,300. So we got some range on the Nasdaq to work with. Let's see how far they can take it. But given this action that they are popping here late in the session, I would start this from the long side of the market. I would look to buy a weakness, and then let's see how far they can take it. So that's kind of the dynamic I'm looking at. So for the ES, I'm looking at buying against this ledge at the 67.75s, against that mode 67.60s to 70s. That's your attractor area as well. And the lower edge there is going to be around about the 67.55s. If they start trading below that 50-55 level, I would be looking for the retracement trade down to these lower areas. Last buy would probably be in the 67.40 level. If they take out that reverse retest, I think we are back down in this lower area again. So looking to buy weakness going into the overnight. No reason to be doing anything else unless you see some major failure. And that's kind of how we get started going into the overnight. So on the ES, looking to buy against the we just say 67.75s against that mode at the 70s, against the 55s, below 55s, and taking off the long bias, going back range bound, looking for retracement. Last buying opportunity against the 40s for rotations up. So that's the ES. On the Nasdaq though, same story there, looking to buy against the 25,050s. Going to be one edge here down at the 970s. One here a little bit higher at the 940s for rotations up. If they go below that 940s, again, looking for retracement trade to the downside. So that's how we get started on these two. Now I kind of got them both on one screen, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier. You can see everything I'm doing in one shot there. So I'm up 52 on the Nasdaq. And the last trade I took, I had a few trades on the Nasdaq. Let's just show you those. Early on here, I didn't do much in the morning, but I tried to get in a little bit here when it was really a lot of activity on it in this area. And I got in and out of a few trades. There were 4 round turns there. I got a little bit out of one trade there to make my money back, but that was way too volatile. I tried a couple of more trades here. I tried that short trade at the or a long trade here at the no, that was a short trade and it was stopped out. And I tried another long trade on the breakout for a small amount. So this was a short trade against a congestion area again. And those trades are not necessarily super attractive, but it is easy money if they stick around in that attractor area. Sometimes you will get caught at one point, so you can't just keep doing it. But a couple of opportunities definitely could present themselves. So this was a shakeout, and this one I bought when they start taking out that rotation and got a little bit of money. I got out too early on that one, missed a little pop. I got long here on the move higher, and again I got a little bit impatient, got out of that trade, and then turned out to be a start of something nice. I could have stayed. I tried another long trade here again. This one got stopped out, shaken out. No. This one I took profit on, if I remember. Yeah, I took early profit, and so I just impatient. And so being impatient when you have a good trade going like that is just not good. I tried to be more patient. And I took one more trade here late in the session here. That's this on the way down here. I took a short trade, had to repair it, and then scratched it as soon as I could because that obviously wasn't going to go in my favor. And I'm glad I did because this would have been a major, like a big loser. But I just stopped me out here. So I'm pretty much 10 round turns on the Nasdaq. I'm back to that 52 mark. I started, this trade was a scratch. Yes, started with 51 and ended with 52. So that's the ES and the Nasdaq. So I'm up 52 on the Nasdaq, down to 50 on the ES. And as I said, patience. When you are in a good trade, stay patient. Or sometimes you just had to give the trade a little bit of room. But sometimes it's just difficult. So we all have that little issues we are working on. And then finally, bonds. Not much to say about the bonds today, really. It's just a real quick one. We are looking at the range-bound bond market. It is to the upside. They're down here at the 118s again. So if 118 holds, we're going to stay on the long side. If they take it out in overnight, I'm going to just go back range-bound. So that's the dynamic on the bonds. I haven't tried to trade yet. I tried a couple of entries. None of them failed, and I didn't want to be aggressive on a day like this because you get on the wrong side of it, you'll just be twisting in the wind for the whole day. So that's the bond market. Back to the ES, Nasdaq. And right now, I would say before we wrap it up, the news for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we get durable goods, we get GDP, international trade, jobless claims, all right at 8:30. And we have that PCE and new home sales, personal income number, and with the PCE index at 10. Also new home sales coming out. So we got some action going on tomorrow as well. And then after tomorrow, we have Thanksgiving. So one more trading day. I would say that after the news tomorrow, going into the afternoon, trading is probably going to slow down quite a bit. You should be very cautious trading it. Don't trade it aggressively when it slows down. That's the recipe for getting caught. But anyway, so we'll leave it there for now. So let's see how it goes. Now, if they start popping late in the session, you see how the Nasdaq is popping to the upside, the same as the ES. If this keeps going, I may try a long trade later on here. I'm just waiting for that 1250 or the 350 time frame and see if they're going to be popping at that time or not. But late in the session, you had to be cautious because it could suck. It could be it's going to get a little bit whippy towards the end there. But anyway, so that's how we get started in the overnight, starting out from the long side. Let's see how far they can take it. All right, guys, we leave it there. And I'll see you guys back bright and early in the morning. You guys have a good evening. Later.